my friend and I, we decided that it was our last year of camp, and so we're like, we should do something really fun. So we decided to do White Mountain Voyagers. So it was basically what it was is they dropped us off in the White Mountains at some undisclosed location, and they picked us up at the end of the week. Showed up at camp Sunday night. We went through everybody's gear, made sure we had everything, made sure we packed enough.
Pack a little heavy?
I pretty much got everything.
Like socks, they were like, nobody's gonna discriminate for bringing too many socks. But underwear, you only need one pair. You're not gonna change underwear. Let's be real. We brought two shirts, one for sleeping, one for walking, a pair of shorts, and like that was it. Like a raincoat. First night we got dropped off at Mount Moosilauke. I was trying to hike way too fast. I completely screwed up. I was dying, and one of the guides stopped and said,
Hey man, are you alright?
"They're a little fast."
Just walk at your own pace, buddy.
Finally got myself together and found a nice slow pace. It was really slow, but it was my pace. I kept it for the whole week, could keep it the whole time. It was great.
He was just a rookie trooper and he surely shook with pride. He checked all his equipment and made sure his pack was tight. He had to sit and listen to those awful engines roar. You ain't gonna jump no more. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. Gory, gory, what a hell of a way to die. He ain't gonna jump no more. Zoom, 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 zoom.
We summited Moosilauke. It was a thunderstorm, rain, hail, lightning, all the good stuff that you don't want when you're camping. Got down from Moosilauke to Beaver Brook shelter. It was like dark out. We cooked dinner in the dark. Got to bed way later than we should have. Woke up the next morning. The trail we went down was like really treacherous. It was known for being a very tough trail. And it was all rocks right after a rainstorm, so we were like sliding the whole way down. Got to the bottom. We made it over to Mount Wolf that night. We had to stealth camp, which was basically just like camping anywhere in the woods. Didn't really do much that night. Started a thing that night because we actually were around at a decent time where we would do, it was called Thorns and Roses. What you would do is you would say one good thing and one bad thing from that day. It was kind of horrible because you never really knew what to say, but you would just kind of roll with it and come up with something. The next morning, I ran out of water, and that was kind of horrible because they said bring at least 3 liters, and I was like 2.5 will be fine. It wasn't. I was kind of dying of thirst, but we managed to get water that afternoon. We got to the Kinsman Pond shelter. And the Kinsman Pond shelter was really cool because it was right on Kinsman Pond, which is like this high altitude lake. It was like perfect. Like the sun was like setting behind North Kinsman. There was the pond, and the pond was just perfectly still because there were like no mosquitoes or ripples or wind or anything, and there was like 2 loons. It was perfect. If I had a camera, I could have taken a picture of it and sent it into Yankee Magazine. Woke up, got down to the Lonesome Lake Hut. Lonesome Lake Hut was pretty cool. It was this AMC hut right on the side of Lonesome Lake. Actually, the first time I got to use real toilet paper all week, so that was a plus. We went from there to the basin. From there, hiked up Mount Liberty, got to the Liberty Spring campsite, made dinner. We had this nightly routine called Knocking It Back, which was because there's so many people on the Appalachian Trail, you can't just throw your food scraps in the woods or you'll attract animals or whatever. There'll just be piles of food everywhere. So what you had to do is, because you couldn't use soap because that's not environmentally friendly, you had to put a little bit of water in your pot and then like swish it around with your hand, and then you just had to drink it along with whatever food scraps were left in there. And it was disgusting. And so at each meal, it was only breakfast and dinner that we had actual meals that we would use a pot. We would take turns. And so it was called knocking it back. And so you would say like, oh, who's knocking it back tonight? Or oh, I gotta knock it back. Oh, it's gonna suck night. That was actually the last night on the trail. We were like sitting in a circle. We did like the thorns and roses thing. And then one of the guides pulled out this little shiny rock. And it was kind of the sort of thing where like whoever had the rock was able to talk and nobody else could talk. We all sat in a circle, passed the rock around. We were supposed to reflect on the trip. So like I got the rock, and so my immediate response was I did not think I was going to be able to do this trip. That first day, I thought I was going to have to go back to camp, and it was going to be super embarrassing for everybody involved, and it was going to be horrible because I wanted to continue the trip, but I made it, and I thought it was absolutely amazing that you could wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to see that peak over there. I'm going to be there by tonight. I just thought that was really cool, but one of the big things for me was that it was my last year of scout camp, which was something that I had been doing since 2nd grade. And so, like, it was, like, really kind of sad for me. Woke up the next morning, summited Mount Liberty, and then from there we went from Liberty to Flume, and then hiked out through Lincoln Woods. And it was only a 4 or 5 mile hike, but it was literally the longest 5 miles I have ever hiked. You were just trying to get out of the woods so quick, and so it was all downhill. It seemed like it took forever to get out of the woods. And then we got out of the woods, got back to camp, and so like we were like unpacking giving all the gear back to the camp. And so they were saying, yeah, you've had a great time here. People back at camp have also had a great time. And so like don't overwhelm the conversations that you have with your experience this week.